Hello everyone and welcome back to a new episode here of the New Mind Gaming News. My name is Halstus, your host today, and let's just jump right into it. Our first bit of news is actually a Super Mario Bros. NES cartridge being sold for over $100,000. The question is, what is so special about it? The quality of this box is actually rated at a 9.5, which is like near mint, almost perfect. So you'd think like, wouldn't be like, I don't know, near 10, like 9.9 or 10 even, be even better. Well, here's the thing. In order to understand why this game cartridge is so expensive, it's just very simple to understand that there was an initial release of the Nintendo Entertainment System in the US after the gaming crash, which just saw a few releases in some smaller cities. This began in New York City, followed by LA, Chicago and San Francisco, and before it eventually reached the entire country. These first few initial releases were actually sealed differently. So these boxes came just with a sticker where it said Nintendo on them. There was a matte one in 1985 and a glossy one in 1986. And such a special rarity has been found here in this box. And while of course this is not the very first entry of Super Mario Bros. And while it's not the, best entry maybe even, who knows, it's up to you. This is certainly a very important point in time where just Nintendo made a comeback and actually changed the gaming landscape after the crash forever. And with this in mind, it seems to be fairly certain that collectors that are actually a group of collectors this time are willing to spend that much money on it and buying this cartridge. I found it really very cool, and it's cool to see that there's some actually history reason behind that. Not just like, oh, it's a rare version, but legitimate, it's like one of the very, very first cartridges that have been sold in the US. So yeah, that's nice. And other things we have, Alfonso Ribeiro actually was trying to get the Carlton dance, being taken down from Fortnite and other games because he says, oh, you invented that dance. And actually, the Copyright Office now said, the US Copyright Office, has ruled against the actor, going as far as to explain the intricacies of the internet-pleasing shoe shuffle. The dancer sways their hips as they step from side to side while swinging their arms in an exaggerated manner. In the second dance step, the dancer takes 2 steps in each side while opening and closing their legs and their arms in unison. In the final step, the dancer's feet, the combination of these 3 dance steps is a simple routine that is not registerable as a choreographic work. So here's the main reason. It's too simple and it's not a real choreography which could register for trademark and everything. So that's it, actually. So apparently this is what probably Epic was also planning to do. They just waited for that judgment, and now they have a real argument against Alfonso actually by saying, well, it is so simple, it just can't be trademarked by you. The US Office for Copyright actually said so we're just gonna keep it in the game, which is probably the reason why also a lot of other simple dances will be kept in the game. Something else might be, for example, for the Scrub Star dance that we saw played by the character Turk, and yeah, maybe that is more complex, but the Carlton dance in itself, which is, to be fair, fairly basic, left and right with a little bit of arm swinging, that is too simple. So fair enough, I guess. Next up, some industry news. TinyBuild nets $15 million funding from an unnamed investor, and the efforts will actually go, of course, into building the team up into more, of course, support stuff for already planned internal development and production, but also it will go towards porting teams, and expected to use the funds to make more hires in those areas. Congratulations. In other news, we also have Yusuke Hashimoto announced that he left actually Platinum Games. He was the director behind Bayonetta 2, and with Bayonetta 3 already in development, and amongst many other games like Astral Chain, which we just saw this last week being announced by the Nintendo Direct, it's an interesting news to come around from the industry. He actually joined Platinum Games in 2007, so this was a 12-year run of him at the studio. And of course, Yusuke Hashimoto was also the game director behind the original Bayonetta, so it's very interesting to see how Bayonetta 3, for example, would turn out with this change in the team. Coming back, of course, we have some Apex Legends news. First bit of news is actually not directly about Apex Legends, but it's about Apex Construct, which came out actually in March last year and has seen Steam page views rocket over 4,000% in the last 2 weeks thanks to Apex Legends, a game that's not connected to it, but fairly, they have Apex as the first word and just a very simple 2 syllables name, word after that in the name. And if you can see, like, the logos are even pretty similar. So Apex Construct and Apex Legends underneath that, yeah, it's fairly close to each other. According to Fast Driver Games communications manager Andres Jurisen, players who are searching for Apex Legends have stumbled across Apex Construct and paid for the game by mistake. In quote, apparently people are prepared to buy what they think is Apex Legends for $29.99, even though it's a free-to-play title. Most likely, these units will be refunded, but our books look pretty good at the moment, he posted on Reddit. Of course, people feel like they've been scammed and are posting negative reviews, but the community manager also said again, fortunately, the Steam community team is looking into this right now. Somewhere there are massive misunderstandings going on. Yeah. And let's leave that topic behind. It's just funny to talk about it. We also have another thing actually, and that is that within the first 10 days of Apex Legends being out, the game has already seen bans of over 16,000 cheaters. Alright. And we have also Neil Blomkamp, who actually just released a very short trailer actually for Anthem last week, that he could also be very up for bringing Chappie, who was also the star of the 2015 dystopian sci-fi flick by the same name, Chappie, who's a little robot, and he seems to be perfectly fitting to Apex Legends maybe, and at least Neil Blomkamp says, yeah, a lot of people are asking me this, I'm down, yes. And Vincent Pella, the CEO of the studio, actually, of Respawn Entertainment, said, also, I'm down, let's do it. So, who knows, maybe they bring Chappie as a legendary skin, or at least a sort of tribute for Pathfinder maybe to the game. That could be very interesting. And since we're already talking about our characters in games, we have finally release date for The Walking Dead's Negan. What's it pronounced? I've never seen The Walking Dead, I'm very sorry. It's coming to the game at the end of the month, so at the end of February. And we also have Julia coming to the game. Julia Chang's character will be $5.99 and Negan will be $7.99 for the DLC. We also have DLC news that 2 Final Fantasy 15 cars are making their way to Forza Horizon 4, bringing even more things to Forza Horizon 4 which are out of the usual suspects, just like we had, for example, with the Hunicans and Hunicorns, the cars that actually Ken Block is using in his series, of course, of videos. And we also have another DLC character coming to SoulCalibu VI. I recently played SoulCalibu 2 again on the Nintendo Wii, on its GameCube version, and that was actually quite good. And the character is Amy Sorel, who was apparently already in SoulCalibu 2, but was only playable in SoulCalibu 3. And the interesting stuff for that is she actually has her own moveset, which makes it, of course, distinct from every other fighter and opens up for new gameplay styles. Looking back at the other characters that have been added actually to SoulCalibu 6, 2B from Nier Automata and Geralt from The Witcher, of course, The Witcher himself. This is actually a good addition again, I think, at least, because, hey, although it's sad to see an original character being a DLC again, it's at least nice to see that it's coming back. Fans digging through the game's files also found a reference to Amy last year, alongside another series favorite, Cassandra, who could be the next DLC. So who knows, maybe there might be another classic character coming back to SoulCalibu 6 as well, in DLC form. And as last bit of news we have, Detective Pikachu, the movie, is getting a release date, and the new trailer shows it's going to be released on May 10th this year. So just a week after Avengers Endgame. Oh boy, or 2 weeks or whatever. And that has been it. And that has been it for the gaming news here at the Nearby. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you liked it. Please come back again next week, maybe. Please come back again tomorrow if you want. Subscribe to not miss any new episodes, and follow us on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. Especially on Instagram, we're posting now more of these smaller news bits. They're just in between the daily gaming news, but stay interesting for you. And of course, you can join us also on Discord for discussions. TheNewBuy.com/Discord is where you can find the invite link. Have a nice day so far, and see you soon again in the next daily gaming news.